Man, it's been what almost 2 years, and now we're back to talking about Cyberpunk 2077.
I mean, you're entirely correct. You just are. It came out in what, December 2020. So,
Yep,
yep, we're getting up there.
we're getting old, is what you're trying to say.
No, no, I really wasn't trying to say that at all.
You said we're getting up there.
Uh, but yeah, it seems to be the hot thing on everyone's lips right now, and rightfully so after the trigger animation. So we're gonna get into that in a bit. But before we do that, quick heads up: Lake's not gonna be with us tonight.
No.
She's fine. She'll be back next week. Just conflict of time.
Yep.
So tonight it's just Aqua and I.
Yeah, we're not even doing a real episode. This is just like a little mini where we're gonna talk about Cyberpunk Edgerunners, actually. Surprisingly
Yeah,
enough.
yeah.
Dollet over here watched it and has nothing but good things to say about it.
I have
Apparently,
nothing but good things to say about it. Yeah, I think that's right. Actually, I
uh,
really fancy it.
and that's pretty much almost everybody on the internet. And then how they've all everybody that's been playing it was like, you know what? Well, I'm gonna turn on Cyberpunk 2077 and start playing again because that game's apparently not doing too bad at the moment.
Yeah, there's. Oh God, let me tell you, there's been some weird things said on both sides of that argument. There's a lot of revisionism going on, but we'll come to that in a moment. For now, let's figure out how we want to tackle this. So we just want to tackle the show and then the game, then the show.
We could talk about the show. I mean, the show is pretty much the forefront of this.
Yeah, it is absolutely the leading cause for the rejuvenation of 2077. 100%.
Yeah. So, for those of you who don't know, Cyberpunk got an anime. It's called Cyberpunk Edgerunners, and it was actually pretty amazingly. I've seen some clips amazingly animated by Studio Trigger, um,
It's good.
formerly Studio Gainax, who have made anime such as Gurren Lagann, Darling in the Franxx, Kill la Kill, Brand New Animal. Brand New Animal's one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Uh,
mean they continue to knock it out of the park. If you've seen their shows before, like all of that is there in this. All the Gynax isms that kind of got transferred into the Trigger staff when they picked them up. It looks exactly like what you'd expect. Which is to say, amazing.
so
So
if
yeah,
you're
this
gonna
hmm?
I was gonna say if you're gonna sell me on this anime, which by the way you don't need to sell me on this anime. It's Studio Trigger, not written by Studio Trigger. And it's Cyberpunk, so I'm definitely gonna watch it at some point. But if you were gonna sell me on this anime, what can you say the overall the synopsis of this animation
I
is?
think I would say that this series gets Cyberpunk even better than what it's pulling from. And we'll get to that in a bit when we talk about 2077. But there's a lot of ideas and concepts that maybe were too difficult to give to a player that they were allowed to explore with incredible detail in an animation. Obviously, Cyberpunk, so everyone's all chromed up,
Yep.
but even more so, you have like this weird class warfare, wherein, of course, the lower class has no idea it's happening. Uh, and essentially, our mercenary friends, our cyberpunks, are proxy soldiers in a war between two corps. It's really cool. It looks amazing. The characters are super endearing, even if they don't look like they would be. And of course, the animation is fantastic. It's one of the big advantages to animation over live action over like anything that is controlled by a player in video games is that you can take it to 11,
Yeah.
and they do consistently.
That's Trigger.
Like,
Trigger's always at 11 actually.
it's true, and they are not toned back at all. Like, there was one little thing that there was a fight over, to kind of reel them in a bit, and the studio won. So Rebecca stayed, and that was a good decision because she's not the best thing about the show, but she's top three for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's. I mean, like Cyberpunk is weird, right? Because if I say Cyberpunk, I think a lot of people go to things like Akira and Ghost in the Shell, and
Hmm.
this is absolutely not that. Like Akira is just kind of a bunch of kids in a future setting dealing with something a bit beyond them with actual Akira. Whereas like Ghost in the Shell is more of like a political drama featuring guns and philosophy.
I'd like thinking of Cyberpunk. I might cause I had recently actually like fully watched the movie, but I kind of like think maybe more of like Alita Battle Angel. That's very
Oh,
cyberpunk.
for sure. Absolutely. Like there's a huge class disparity. They are literally on a cloud, the people with money, whereas
Hmm.
everyone else is dirt poor in the most literal sense. And it's a big part of it because like if they without that there's nothing to rebel against, and this is all punk, like cyberpunk.
Hmm.
So I mean, what are you gonna do? So I mean, if you've seen, I mean, I don't know that Alita Battle Angel is the best representation for what this does, but
Oh no, no, I wouldn't say that, but it does like has some similarities, or
of
like it has
course,
some similarities in like I get just the cyberpunk genre.
yeah, the themes are all there.
Yeah,
It's hard to talk about Edgerunners at all without spoiling like huge
yeah.
swaths of it. Um, like I enjoyed it. It was beautiful. It was bombastic. It was fucking miserable.
Huh.
Super emotional, and it covered all the bases it needed to. As I've already said, better than the game, which I
D-
felt was super fucking restrictive by comparison, and really just didn't dig into those interesting ideas.
does it have any connections with the game?
Sure. Or rather, I think the game went out of its way to, uh, during pre-production, add things that would be in this series.
Okay.
Because the series ends a year before the game begins.
Oh, okay.
At least according to the wiki, anyway. The
Hmm.
year, like the time frame, didn't seem important, but it makes sense not even to give a chance to cause a plot hole and just have it happen beforehand. The game has been given uh, articles of clothing and weapons from the series. Obviously, a lot of the fighting that happens in the series is based on principles from the game.
Hmm.
Like all the hacking, all of the weapons are, well, I don't know if all of them, but most of the weapons are there in the game. The Sandevistan is something you can get.
Yeah.
The various individual shotguns and handguns and all that, all stuff in the game. Like this is all stuff that, and we'll get to, you can reproduce.
Yeah. I hear there's like builds and stuff from Edgerunners that you can actually like implement into the game.
Yeah, I think the only thing you can't do in the game that like this there in anime is just like the actual appearance. You can
But
make your character look like them kind of, but like there are just like you are restricted to your physical build in 2077.
wait,
You're not going to get someone as big as Dorio and Maine. You're not going to get someone as small
no, it was
as
Rebecca.
David and Rebecca exactly. But in terms of what they can do, yeah, it's all there. Arm cannons, swords, monowire, shotguns, hacking, Sandevistan. Yeah, it's all there.
All right. Might pick that up at some might pick it up again, because I mean there is an expansion for Cyberpunk coming out at some point in time. I don't know when it's actually
Yeah,
confirmed.
the new United States of America expansion, or I think that's what it's called. But I mean, I think picking it up beforehand might even be fun now because
Yeah.
obviously it's been almost 2 years since the game came out. They've cleared up a lot of the rougher spots of it.
Yeah,
For
not as many
for
bugs,
PC,
not as many
um,
bugs and glitches.
I think it's been said before. I have to echo the statement. I think it was wholly inappropriate for them to ever have put this out on the last gen.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And you and I dodged a bullet by picking it up on PC
Mm-hmm.
because that is
Mm-hmm.
easily where it runs the best.
Yeah. Actually, I mean,
Um,
I don't ever recall ever having a problem when playing it, when it first came out. So.
well, let's shift over to the game because we'll come back to the anime and I'll gush about
Mhm.
it in slight detail later. But so I still have it on my computer. I still have it downloaded and ready to go.
I
And
don't, but
I never
I
took it
have
off
it
because
there.
I assumed it would get some amount of free DLC. And it did, but I'll be honest with you, I didn't know when it happened because there was like no fanfare. But yeah, I always
Yeah.
kept it up. There are a bunch of mods I want to put back into it and
Yeah, I can
just
see that.
have a whole new experience. Because I've played through it. Do you remember anything about the story?
Yeah. I remember actually pretty much most of the story. Yeah.
Hey, okay. So, like, after I beat the story, I recognized I don't give a crap about the story. I don't care
Yeah.
about
No, the story.
any of that at all. It is easily the weakest part of it.
Yeah, I know. I just wish there was an ending of this game where my character didn't die.
Didn't fucking die. Yeah, it would have been
Yeah.
grand. Um, so like for me, it's about creating a character just to be in the world because the side stuff was actually pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Like anything that further developed the world ended up being way more interesting than anything that pushed forward the Arasaka and Silverhand and V storyline. Because
Mhm.
all of that was absolute fucking trash.
Was very.
Like the very best of it was Johnny meeting up with his crew in U, which, whew, that's wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there's a lot of really cool side stuff. I mean, honestly, one of my favorite pieces of secondary content was possibly the most ridiculous thing they had in there, and that was meeting Oza Bozo.
Oh God. Yeah.
Yeah, the dude with a grenade on his nose, and then having to fight him. It
Yes.
was great. It was a nice little
Yeah.
call out to the Bozos. I dug it.
Ugh.
I would have liked to have seen more net running. I think us sticking around in the net, in the old net even, would have been really
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah. I feel like the game itself, like, while you could like do like cyber hacking and all that shit, it didn't feel like the game really lent itself to that at all. Like, cause I mean, I went through most of the game just shooting and fucking melee weapons. Like the whole cyber hack side of it was kind of
Yeah, I agree.
lackluster.
I agree. I think they made it too gamey. Press this button and things happen. There was no effort from the player put
Mm-hmm.
into doing the actual hacking. Like, it's something that came up in the tabletop version of it, right?
Yeah.
The moment that you split away from the body, essentially, it's a place only for the netrunners. And so,
Mm-hmm.
like, you're playing a whole different game, and now it offsets time and things get weird. So you always play to the body.
Mm-hmm.
And that just meant that, like you, I picked up a gun and I played it like I was playing most other games of its type, most other FPS.
Oh, I picked up a sword. I just went chopping people down.
That's fair, yeah. Mantis blades, swords,
Oh yeah, I
monowire.
did.
If
I
you,
did have I did have mantis blades.
I never did. I got the gorilla arms though. Punch the crap out of people. No, honestly, I think the Lexington, the exotic Lexington, you can get really early. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure I just dragged that all the way to the end of the game.
Yeah.
Like essentially, if it weren't for the fact that this game was called Cyberpunk, I would have just been any normal like agent character from
if it was
various other games.
if it wasn't for this game being called Cyberpunk, I'd have just thought it was Fallout
Yeah, I
4.5.
like, and to be fair, that is kind of what it feels like. I mean, a lot of this comes from the point that we were told to expect quite a lot and we didn't get it.
Yeah.
And another bit of it comes from the fact that a lot of us who were waiting on it talked a big deal that CDPR just was never going to amount to. It's not even their fault, to be honest.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, there's been a lot of revisionism going on both ends. I just want to put out right now, Cyberpunk was a fucking mess when it launched. It was
Mm-hmm.
not a good game. It was complete in terms of the narrative, and that's about it.
Yeah.
This game absolutely had problems. For everyone thinking the game was better than it was at release, need I remind you, it had to get pulled off of a bunch of different storefronts.
Yeah, fucking PlayStation banned it from its goddamn store.
Let's just remember that. Now, on the other side of things, to all the haters that just like didn't jive with all of this game wasn't an absolute trash fire. Most of that is just a failing of the promise of CDPR. At the end of the day, you could start this game and you could get to the end.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were really lucky, like Aqua and I, you ran into minimal bugs.
Yeah, I didn't have any problem. I threw on DLSS and fucking gunned it to the end, and then
As far
got
as
like
I'm
4 other
concerned,
endings.
this is still a better game. This still launched a better game than like the last Fallout game, the last two Fallout games.
Uh,
Hell, I would actually say better than any Fallout games because I always run into bugs. I just think they're endearing, is all.
I'm trying to think here. I feel like I had the same experience playing Fallout 4 than I did having the same experience playing Fallout 4 as the same as Cyberpunk. Like
Yeah.
I felt like they just weren't distinctly different. Like
Oh, I had
Cyberpunk
some major issues with
Cyberpunk
4 and
Cyberpunk
3.
Cyberpunk could have been you could have told me it was a Fallout 4 mod and I'd have believed you.
Oh, Fallout 4, maybe. Yeah, because it's mostly modern. I think the only thing that would have thrown me off is, wow, it looks really good for a Fallout game.
Yeah, yeah.
That's it.
Because I don't think I ran into too many. I don't think I ran into really any bugs playing Fallout 4. I actually enjoyed Fallout 4 a little bit, but like I said,
I'll be honest, Fallout's never really done it for me. I did like
oh,
New
me either.
Vegas, though. I did like New Vegas. But other
Yeah,
than that, it's fine. It's whatever. I don't hate it. But point of fact is, there are other companies that have put out
yeah.
equally botched material on the
Mm-hmm.
PC side. Honestly, the PlayStation launch of this game was an absolute nightmare, and they deserve all the shit they got for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just been really weird. It's just been, actually, it's not even weird because I kind of expected it. It's been really interesting sitting back, watching this anime, seeing other people watch this anime and pick up the game, and hearing both sides just go to war with each other. The game was never even really that bad. You should have been here from the beginning. You all got frightened from a couple of people talking shit. Yeah,
I was
maybe
about to
not.
say
Maybe
I'm like I was here from the beginning. It was
it's like
bad.
maybe they were right to give it time. And then the other side saying like, no, the game was unplayable. You couldn't even do anything. I'm surprised anyone ever finished it. Yeah, all right, hold on
I'll
now.
like okay, if you play it on the console, yeah, it definitely was unplayable right off the bat.
Yeah, I mean, look, well, actually, played on PS4. I think yeah, the next gen consoles were playable, but they looked like
But
trash.
they didn't have next gen version when the game came out.
That's
It
true.
was
You were just playing the
you were
base
playing the
version
PS.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
I did forget about that. But yeah, so point of fact is, as per usual, I'm fence sitting. Gonna be honest with you.
yeah.
I played the game all the way through. I enjoyed it for the most part. I look back upon that playthrough and have a lot of issues with it, but not because of the game's failing, because of the writing's failing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's just been really, really fun watching that. But I think what we do have to turn onto now is how impactful Edgerunners really was. I think I think CDPR mentioned having a 550% surge. This game outsold Modern Warfare 2 for like a week.
Like the new Modern Warfare 2, right?
The new Modern Warfare 2, the one that just
That's
came out.
that's so
That's
fucking dumb.
insanity.
That's so dumb. The game's 2 years
Like
old.
these are two niche things: cyberpunk and anime. that have spurred on an incredible amount of people to play a 2-year-old game.
Condone.
But also, I can't blame them. Edgerunners was really good. And the fact that so much of that can be replicated to one degree or another in the game is they were very smart to do that.
Yeah, Cyberpunk director uh
Rafal
say
Jackie or no, the
no,
director.
yeah. Was it Powell Sasko? Or quest director Powell Sasko? Um the
Oh, I
quest
thought you were
director, yeah.
talking about Adam Badowski.
No, no, no. He or he was the quest director for Cyberpunk. He was like, "It's good. It's fucking good to be back." Amid games resurgence.
Paul Sasko.
Yeah, Paulo
Paul
Sasko. Yeah,
Sasko.
yeah.
Yeah, no, and I'm sure this game has been given something very rare in the games industry, and it's a failure given a second chance.
Yeah.
Uh, to be fair, we've seen it before with
Yeah.
No Man's Sky, and a lot of people were like putting this out as the comparison. I think it's entirely fair.
Mm-hmm. No Man's Sky is a very good game right now.
Very much so. And I mean, yeah, like this is really good for them. We're gonna get. Well, we've gotten the anime.
Mm-hmm.
The game has added a bunch of things from the anime for people to enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be an expansion pack coming out,
Yep.
and then there's going to be a sequel because there will not be another expansion.
Well, are they
Like,
actually going to make a sequel?
no, probably not. Or I shouldn't say no. I don't know. Um, I imagine a lot of the team, now that the DLC has been announced, has probably been
Mm-hmm.
shifted over to adding hands to the Witcher project.
Yeah.
And they'll knock that out, and maybe after the Witcher, the next Witcher game, they'll begin on another Cyberpunk game.
Maybe.
I don't think it's unreasonable for them to see that they can make a better game that doesn't fail the first time and just go from there.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
the correct answer is we don't know. For now, we're not even at that first DLC yet. It's only been announced. That has to do well first, because all this is for nothing if that DLC comes out and everyone picks it up and goes, "Oh, this is." Ugh.
this DLC's what? New United States of America or something like that?
Something like that, yes. We got
Mm.
to see very clearly some kind of government or a rebellion happening, and V is asked to pledge allegiance to the new United States of America. And in a big surprise, at least to me, we hear Johnny say, "You shouldn't do that." I don't know.
You shouldn't do that. Where does
I'm
this take? What?
surprised he came back.
I wonder where this takes place.
It has to take place after the initial campaign,
Yeah,
assuming you didn't blow your brains out. And it's just because we're doing this because we're going to die. We're doing this because we lose nothing.
or maybe we find a cure.
Yeah, maybe. I think the biggest twist about all this is we're going to have a cure dangled in front of us, and it's going to have been fake the whole time,
Oh God, please no.
and we're still going to die by the end. And honestly,
Uh,
I don't want V to survive this. I want them to hard reset if they make it too.
yeah. Uh, I'm not surprised Keanu Reeves came back.
Oh, I
Um,
am. He's a lot of money that they
he
could have
and
saved.
he may be a lot of money. Well, I mean, here's the thing though.
He literally leaves at the end of the base game. There's really no reason for them to have brought him back. They could have saved a lot of money. I'm genuinely surprised.
True, but
Like I'm not wrong about
but
that. Like at
may
the end of the main game, either he takes over or you take over, and that's that.
but you also have to think. All right,
I do a lot of that.
Keanu Reeves loves this. So he could have been like, "Yeah, fuck it, I don't care how much you pay me. let me just voice, man."
You know, there's been a lot of conflicting stories over the years. We've heard interviews where CDPR will say, yeah, he was totally into it. He played and he enjoyed it. And someone else will ask Keanu, he'll be like, I do not know what you're talking about. I'm sure it's very good, but I don't.
Well, no, I don't mean he probably likes the game or whatever. I'm assuming he enjoyed
Oh, being
like
Johnny? Yeah,
being
probably.
Johnny. Yeah. And
He, he,
I'm pretty sure he knows like maybe not the ins and outs of just Cyberpunk in general or whatever, but he's probably like maybe into like the what the source material of Cyberpunk was. Maybe.
maybe. I mean, look, Keanu's been in a lot of cyberpunk stuff. He's
True.
been in The Matrix. He was in, I almost said Point Dexter, Point Break. And Johnny is kind of like a dickhead Ted,
Yeah.
you know, anarchist Ted. So,
Who knows? But so you recommend Edgerunners?
dude, I can't recommend it enough. It's short. It's 10 episodes, 30 minutes. Not even like 24 minutes an episode. It does so much so quickly, so well. Like there's a lot of shows that are like 50 to 100 episodes that don't get through as much of an arc as this did. And admittedly, a lot of this did probably go over well for me because I had zero faith going into this. The
You had no
characters are
faith in Trigger. You had no faith in
I
Trigger.
I knew it was going to be pretty to look at, but I didn't like the writing in Cyberpunk. I thought it was
Oh yeah,
super mid.
yeah,
So I
fair,
expected the writing in this to be super mid. And
fair.
it wasn't. It was mostly a character driven narrative, and that was amazing. David is such a good choice. There's a big old time jump. Well, not even big old. There's a big enough time jump that lets you see growth physically and mentally, and that's really sick. A relationship runs through the course of meeting, peaking, failing, redeeming, all in 10 episodes, and it's super good. I wouldn't say all the characters are fleshed out because that's just not true, but all
Mm-hmm.
of them are as fleshed out as they need to be for the story to continue. Also, Rebecca is somehow amazing, and the lolly, despite being problematic in CDPR's eyes at first, ended up being such a big part of that show. Let's go. I don't even usually like that character trope.
All right.
Yeah,
Uh,
no, like there's the unless
but do
you
you
take
recommend the
issue.
video game?
Um, yes. Don't pay full price for it. I can't imagine they're still selling it for full price.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't
What's
think.
yeah, let's go find out. What's Cyberpunk being sold for? Let's see.
Uh,
Steam says it is currently being sold for full price, $60. Do not pay $60 for this game.
yeah,
However, if you find this on sale for like $40 and you want to give it a twirl, absolutely. Really, they're still selling it for 60 though?
they're probably selling it for 60 just because. Well, I mean, I'm surprised. I'm surprised they didn't have like some Edgerunners type fucking sale shit going on. I'm gonna check my site that I get my PC games from.
Mm.
Um,
But yeah,
Cyberpunk.
like I just don't
Well, I can.
feel like this game is worth the 60 cuz this isn't going to be Grand Theft Auto. You're not going to
Mhm.
be running around in this world like that, and there is no multiplayer aspect to it. So like the replayability is there, but it's not as strong as in a game like GTA where you just then when you're finished with GTA 5 and then you jump on to online.
All right.
Yeah, get this game on sale, beat
Yeah.
it, mod the ever loving crap out of it,
Mhm.
and just do everything the game has to offer.
All right. You heard it
But
here,
if you,
guys.
Mhm, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's
You
go.
you heard it here. Watch Edgerunners.
Do it.
Play the game at
Do it.
a cheaper price than $60. Um.
Definitely a cheaper price.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we're gonna talk about this week. Um. We didn't. I didn't want to do an episode 100 without leak. So. Uh.
Understandable.
Um, and we can talk in a loop here for fucking Cyberpunk for maybe a couple of hours, but I don't want to do that. But you know, if you like our short type style content, I know we will do this every couple of weeks. We'll have like maybe a little topic to talk about. But make sure you hit that like and subscribe, and we will see you guys next week.
Hey, enjoy. I'm gonna go mod the hell out of Cyberpunk now.
Yeah.